Spawning in the top left-hand side of Eternal Empire in the red, representing France and Gamer's Origin, it's Stephano.
And his opponent spawning down in the bottom left, representing himself, but one of the most entertaining, smartest streamers out there. It is the Blue Zerg player. Give it up for Lambo. Can he go Rambo? Let's see.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Quick note, guys. I know there's a lot of buzz going on today because our format for the broadcast is slightly different. So just a quick update. Yes, today is one of those weird, wacky, and wild ESL days where there are 4 streams going on. So if you want to, if you obviously look, you're going to have our match on your main monitor all the time, just because Steadfast and I are clearly the most entertaining casters in the business, and you wouldn't go anywhere else. But if by chance you want to defect and check out another stream, the main stream is going on. Of course, that's twitch.tv/ESL_SC2. We're here on the B stream, which is ESL_SC2B. There is a C stream, ESL_SC2C, and then here's the kicker. The ESL2D stream, which is twitch.tv/ESL, just straight ESL. And we've got amazing and talented coverage on all 4 of those channels. And man, it's going to be tough to find a game today that you can miss. I feel like almost every game today, Steadfast, has some sort of implications for these brackets.
Yeah, there's very, very few matches. And even the ones that don't, they still have something to play for. They're still playing for money. It's still basically a best of 3 show match for $125.
Yeah,
$100 bucks in some cases.
Crazy money.
Yeah, for just a single best of 3. In theory, you could win that in 8 minutes. And the reason I say 8 minutes is because there's been at least one series I've casted that has lasted 8 minutes.
Was that? I think that was the one of the we casted together, Steadfast. That was.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who it was, but it was just the fastest match possible. It was great. Maybe it was one of those Asuna games on NA. Where
that
he just
sounds
roasted
right.
Somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been such an eventful DreamHack. The entire event just rich with competition and storylines. I wish we could sum all of them up on stream here, Steadfast, but we got a game to cast first and foremost. Baneling Nest down for Lambo, Baneling Nest down for Stephano. Stephano looks a little bit behind, but Steadfast, as a Zerg expert, do you see any major differences right now in these guys' builds?
Very, very subtle differences. The only real difference I've seen so far is Stephano went for a... instead of going for the standard timed third Overlord, he cut it for just a little bit of time. And really the main difference about that is you get 1 or 2 drones out just a little bit quicker, tiny bit more mining. In theory, it's a little bit riskier, but it's not too big of a deal. And both of them are pretty much mirroring one another. Little bit of pressure coming in here from Lambo. When I say little bit of pressure, I mean so minuscule, so small.
That it barely counts as pressure at all. It's less pressure than when your doctor is about to give you a shot, and he's like, you may feel a bit of pressure here.
Yeah, exactly.
Does your doctor say that whenever I get a shot? They're always like, they used to say you might feel some pain, but they realized that nobody wants to hear pain, so like you might feel some pressure here.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about, and yeah, that is the case.
Garbage.
We are. It's really just fundamental lying, you know, like it's just a little bit of deceit.
I feel like if my doctor's gonna lie to me about how much a shot hurts, I should at least get a sucker and a sticker afterwards. Like, come on.
That would be really nice. I think that's something that's missing. Is ooh, nice scout deny from Stephano here.
Yeah, good pick.
Is you know that we don't see that too much anymore.
Now that we're not 8 years old, we don't get suckers to the doctor. Come on, doctors.
Where's the bribes?
Jeez. Well, both players here going for Lair Tech. It looks like the Roach Warren going to pop down here first for Stephano. Is Lambo setting himself up to skip that Roach Warren entirely? Looks like he's already started +1 melee.
Yeah, this is looking like it could very well be a bit of muta play coming out of Lambo here. Now, it's not definitive just yet. This is something we kind of have to keep an eye on for now. I do expect Lambo will... Oh, there we go. Spire comes down. I do expect we'll see Lambo build a Roach Warren pretty soon. If nothing else, just to trick Stephano, as it were. Nice scout coming in here from Lambo. Going to get a full scout of the main base. And seeing more drones coming out is a really, really good sign for him for going mutas. You do want to be, of course, wary of those roach attacks. Wow, he's keeping this wing alive forever.
The question is, did he spot this Spire at Stephano's natural? Let me check Lambo's vision here really quickly and see. Oh my god, he got everything scouted except that Spire. Now, is that going to give him false confidence, or does it really matter at all, Steadfast? Is it possible that Stephano's Spire is just too late here? I mean, he's banking up a ton more minerals and gas than Lambo is, but he's going to be about 15 seconds behind on that Spire, and he's spotting Lambo's Spire of his own.
The main thing that comes into effect, a little bit of a Ling Bane skirmish here. Lambo is going to be able to trigger that Baneling of Stephano. Ooh, nice! Stephano splits off a Ling and will take out that drone right there. So he gets a little bit of value.
Nice. 10 roaches out for Stephano here. He's working on +1 melee and +1 carapace. It looks like Stephano very confident to leave this fight on the ground, but Lambo going for 10 Mutalisks. That's a huge number of Mutalisks to come straight out. Stephano's dropping a Spire here, or 1 Spore Crawler here at the natural, but 4 Spore Crawlers, never mind. I think he's more than ready for this, but will Lambo be able to find damage with these Mutalisks? That's the real question, right? He's got to fly across and try and get Mutalisk damage done. Stephano going Corruptors here. Is this the right choice?
I think this is very much a prepared build from Stephano, expecting that Lambo would go Mutas here. So there's a few reasons that I say that. By going for this Carapace, very good against the Glaive Worm splash damage. That +1 Carapace on the Mutas also going to be great against the Muta splash damage on those Corruptors. I'm thinking we're going to see Stephano try and go for a big timing here.
Now, yesterday, Steadfast, I was casting with Pengi, who, kind of like yourself, is a really sharp Zerg player. And Pengi was telling me that if you're in a Muta versus Muta battle, if you go air armor and your opponent goes air weapons, you basically still have a +1 advantage because those Muta bounces, those glaive bounces, are negated by the armor upgrade. Is that also true for Corruptors? Is Stephano basically going to have an upgrade advantage, even though Lambo has +1 and Stephano has +1 Carapace on the counter?
Yes, very much so. So it's a little bit weird because Corruptors are obviously not as fast as Mutas. They have a very different attack style, but that armor is so strong on the Corruptors to begin with. It's already base 2 armor. So by adding on that third armor with that +1 Carapace, it is going to make these Corruptors so tanky against those Mutas. Really, the only advantage that Lambo is going to have is going to be in that mobility and the fact that he's been able to take this 4th base. And I love this, actually. He's taking a 5th base with that high-yield geyser, and he is just going to exploit the map control that he has so much.
That's a nice scout from Stephano to spot it, but yes, as you said, he's really exploiting the fact that these Mutas give him almost all the map control. I love that Stephano's hunting these Mutas, though. These Corruptors absolutely insatiable, going after will snipe 1 Muta for free here, and they're going to try and chase Lambo down as much, and Lambo is actually getting caught here. Stephano's going to go ahead and engage. Who's going to win this fight?
It's going to be a little bit tricky to call. I think Stephano has enough Corruptors. Every time he turns around, he is picking off a Muta. And yeah, that was a lot of Mutas that just went down for only a couple of Corruptors. And the main thing is that it buys time for the roaches on the ground. And, well, this is big problems for Lambo. Stephano looking really, really poised right now to get a lot of damage done.
My god, look at the ground army right now for Lambo. It's 23 Lings and nothing else. As long as these Corruptors can keep the Mutalisks busy for a while in the air, these roaches are going to go to absolute town on Lambo's bases now. Stephano has split up his roaches a little bit ineffectively here, I think. He's not actually taken down any bases yet. He has killed off a ton of drones, but all the base is still alive. So actually the larva production from Lambo still in pretty decent shape. He's on 2 queens, which isn't quite ideal, but okay, Stephano's still going to win this fight. And man, the Corruptors are going down fast and furious. But Stephano's still the king of the ground here. What's his play from here on out? What does he need to do, Steadfast, to make sure that this push actually gets some damage done? Nice pick on the 3rd, by the way.
I was going to say, he needs to find as much damage as he can right now and transition out, because the Mutas have won this air war, and they are going to be too big in numbers to deal with. So he just needs to find as much damage as he can with these roaches. As long as... Ooh, I love this use of the Corruptors, actually. He's going to be able to caustic spray down this 4th base while the roaches are distracting in the natural.
Oh, God, Stephano everywhere all at once here, playing an absolutely brilliant game of StarCraft here. Now, Steadfast, one thing we talked about a lot on the DreamHack stream when we cast together a couple weeks ago. Last week? Oh, God, I don't know. Quarantine has all the days seeming the same to me. Was preparation, right? The DreamHack group stage format give these players a chance to prepare for their upcoming opponent and a day or 2 to review all their builds and prep some builds of their own. Does this look to you like Stephano prepared this build specifically for Lambo and was, like, ready to roll against whatever Lambo had coming for him?
That is exactly what it looks like to me, and especially considering, to even add to what you said, last time we casted Stephano in a ZVZ, he played against Cyril, and he had a very, very prepared 1-1 timing build to hit at the timing when Cyril would have +1 attack, and he was working on his 2-1, and he was able to actually take a hugely advantageous fight in that game, and able to take the game and almost take the series off of that preparation. So, long-winded answer, yes, I do think this is a very prepared build.
Hey, you're a caster. Long-winded answers are what we pay you for, Steadfast. That's my whole brand. Nice pressure here from Lambo, by the way. Might force a cancel off the 4th base here of Stephano. Interesting, Lambo's gone for a 4th base as well. Nice Corruptor zoning out here, though, by Stephano. Interesting, Lambo's gone for that. He had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 bases at one point. Stephano's cleared him down to 3. So Stephano actually is still ahead in that income advantage graph that we're showing. But as you said, Lambo's Mutalisks give him intense map control. Do you think it's going to be smart for Lambo to try and mass expand behind this? We see him putting down 1 base. Would it be smart of him to grab like a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, try to bide his time and just come out of this economically?
I do think he should be expanding, but I like that he's not overexpanding. Oh, he's going to go for a snipe in the spire, and he's going to deny +2 Carapace and any more Corruptors. That was such a big move from Lambo right there. Oh, man, going in, even with the Spore there, that is actually so nice from Lambo. We do have Burrow movement and Tunneling Claws finishing up in just a moment. That is going to make things so much more complicated for Lambo.
Sorry, I'm just giggling. I love burrowed roaches. They're so much fun. You know, they don't ever seem to get as much damage done as I hope they do. Already we see Lambo getting some of those Overseers ready to rock, and he's following the burrowed roach little trail that they leave behind up into the main. So really nice picks by Lambo there. God, I hope the burrowed roaches do something, though. They're such a cheeky little maneuver that you don't see that often, and I really do love them. Steadfast, we saw a ton of damage being done by Stephano earlier, but now if we look at all the army supply, we see that, or the supplies in general, we see that Lambo is even on workers, even on bases, and ahead on army supply. It seemed earlier that Stephano had done crippling damage. Was there anything he should have done to capitalize on the damage that he didn't do?
I think he needed to find a little bit more of that damage.
Okay.
Or he needed to be taking a 4th base and spreading creep. Basically what he's doing now, he needed to do that about 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Okay.
Now it's always tricky because you have to be focusing so much on the attack. You're trying to attack in 3, 4 different places at once. But, oh wow, this is a lot of spores in the natural, but there's so many mutas, and they will pick off all 3 of them. And wow, Lambo's actually going to pick this fight against the Corruptors. He does have that... no, he just has +1 attack on these mutas.
I was just about to say, a bit of an odd choice here for Lambo to invest so heavily into mutas. He
wow.
had over 40 earlier, and he's going to get the... Oh my god, the Hive Tech was on the way, and now it's been denied. Even with just +1, this number of mutas is insane. Look at those transfuses going off. I feel like I'm at a Hollow Knight level with all that orange spray happening everywhere. My god. Stephano's going to save his Corruptors, and he's putting some counter pressure on with these burrowed roaches, but man, that Hive pickoff cannot be overstated. How big that was for Lambo. That's going to set Stephano back to the Stone Age.
Yeah, once you get those Vipers out with that parasitic bomb, it becomes so much more complicated to deal with well, to have mutas, to keep them alive.
Right.
Even those pathogen glands infestors that have come out are going to be a bit of a problem for Lambo, but they're not quite... Oh, wow. A couple of Banelings. They're actually going to get in here and pick off a... Wow, okay.
+1. Oh, +1, come on. Anyway, sorry. Oh, Stephano didn't have +1. Never mind. It's +0 Banelings. I got really excited there for a minute.
Yeah, you need that +2. Oh, wow. Lambo is going to go back in here. Bold choice. I don't think he has enough to actually take this fight. Oh, no.
I'm attempting to reconnect. Was everyone attempting to reconnect as well, or was it just me?
I think it was just you. It didn't show any message for me.
Super
so I
fun.
think we're good.
That's great news for my cast. Oh, boy.
Lambo, oh man, he is going to be forced to tap out there. I do not think he needed to take that fight.
Yeah, it's fighting on top of the Corruptors with the Queens there as well. So much going wrong for Lambo in that very last fight. A bit of a weird lag spike as well. That's a really tough thing to deal with at the end of the game. Goodness gracious. Hopefully the players weren't too affected by that. Sometimes we do see with the EU server, I don't know if you see this, Steadfast, but when you're connecting to NA from the EU server, like my game will slow down a little bit, but the players aren't affected at all. So hopefully that was the case. I didn't see him. I feel like they would have asked for a pause with that long of a, one of the casters lagged, please fix it. Oh boy, okay.
I'm not too sure. I don't think I've experienced that. I still am surprised that Lambo chose to take that fight. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Very unusual end to the fight there. That's for sure. And as you said, I'm not sure what forced Lambo to try and take that fight. I didn't feel like he was behind at all, and I didn't feel like he wanted to end the game there. Just maybe getting caught out with the Mutalisk Flock underneath everything that Stephano had. Very strange choice. Very strange choice. So we'll get into game number 2 here. Stephano currently up 1-0. Our second game going to be on Pillars of Gold LE. Now, Steadfast, you were telling us just before the break that this is a must-win for Stephano, right? If he doesn't win this, he's out of the tournament?
That is correct. So it's a very weird scenario where it actually doesn't matter what his opponents do. It is only him who controls his own destiny because... So the top 4 spots, Stephano was in 5th right now in the group, but there are 2 players that are currently at 3-3 right now, Petit Drogo and Bly, and they are actually playing one another, but they have both beaten Stephano head-to-head. So even though if Stephano were to have the same map score as them, he would actually finish behind one of them if he loses this series. But because one of them must lose the series... Right. If he wins, he'll have a better overall set score. He'll finish 4-3, and one of them will finish 3-4, which means he would leapfrog whoever. But if he loses this series, I don't believe he can finish ahead of either of them.
Man, this is so strange. I love the last day of DreamHack, especially for these reasons. Man, this is so cool. Goodness gracious. The last day of DreamHack always gives you such an opportunity to play these weird games. And I don't know if you guys in the chat have seen, but somebody on Twitter, and I'm actually going to shout him out here because he did an amazing job on that Twitter. It is... Oh, who was he? Darklight314 on Twitter. If you guys want to go check him out, has gamed out every possible scenario for these DreamHack finals. So he has gone through every single possible result and showed in a spreadsheet how these matches are going to play out. So I'm leaning, I don't know if you are Steadfast as well, but I'm leaning really heavily on that spreadsheet today to sort of help me mentally do the math and figure out who needs to win which games. What a great format for an event. Guys, let's hop into Pillars of Gold LE here for game number 2. And we are live, spawning in the bottom left-hand side in the red. Representing himself, because he's currently teamless. From no team, it is Lambo.
And his opponent spawning up in the top right, representing Gamers Origin, fighting for a spot in the playoffs. It is the Blue Zerg player. Give it up for Stephano. And did you want me to obs this one? Do you want to observe this one?
Oh, you know what? I'll take the game off. Sure, Steadfast. All yours, buddy.
Sounds good to me.
There you are, number 5.
Number
All right,
5.
Steadfast. The observation is in your hands. It's always nerve-wracking to observe for a big tournament, but you are actually quite good at it. You're a pro, so I trust you, and that means I can take my hands off the keyboard and just enjoy this series. Oh, I love being lazy. Now, I'll tell you what. While these players are getting set up, and again, it looks like fairly standard builds on both sides here. Hatch, gas, pools going down. Have there been any standouts so far in this tournament, Steadfast? I know you've probably been keeping a close eye on the Zerg players. We've had some amazing Zerg games. But overall, have you seen any insanely good games, any real standouts that you want to call out, you want to remind people of so far in the group stages?
There's been quite a few, actually. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday that we casted and, like, every game was just a banger?
Oh, yeah.
Was that...
I'd have to look back, but you're absolutely correct. It was the last time I cast with you where it was all 5 of the B-Stream games went to a game 3.
Yeah.
And we had like some 40-minute games, and they were all insane. That was the day with like where Neeb was going full carriers and right? That was you, right?
I don't think I casted a game with Neeb carriers. I would have remembered that one for sure.
That was Pengy yesterday. Sorry. Man, it's been a long 2 weeks, Steadfast.
And there have been
yeah,
a lot of good games.
the last time you and I were on the B stream, it was absolutely insanely good. This has just been such a great week, man. DreamHack is so exciting. I'm going to be a little sad when the B stream disappears on Tuesday, but that just means all the good StarCraft is going to be condensed into one stream, and people are going to get it injected directly into their veins. It's so good. Well, good scouting here from Lambo, right? He's checking to make sure he's not getting bamboozled. Seeing that there's no third for Stephano is going to raise some eyebrows, I think. Stephano already has that Roach Warren down, and what's he going for? Oh my god, well that answers my question. Steadfast, say more about what Stephano's doing now.
All right, so we are seeing a very, very fast second gas, very quick layer, and as a result of that, a very, very quick Nidus network. Now, Stephano is actually supply blocked here when he wants to be building roaches. Does he have any larvae? Oh, this scout from Lambo! He's going to see it, and that is going to trigger some spines. It's going to trigger him to watch for overlords in the main. Oh, my goodness.
What a scout from Lambo. That is freaking pro, man. What do you feel about Stephano's Nidus placement there? Surely you'd want to do it in your main base, right? Where it's less likely to be scouted?
Yeah, that was completely nonsensical. It doesn't actually make any sense to put it there. And now Lambo is going to be throwing down 2 more spines at the natural. He will see this. He will see this Nidus worm pop out. Drone save, nice job from Lambo right there, but this is going to be very tricky to deal with. He does not have roaches of his own, but of course Stephano's roach count is very, very low, and this is important to note. Lambo went melee first. He does not have link speed right now.
Oh my god.
This is very problematic for him.
Link speed only about halfway done here. Second Nidus up in the main. More roaches coming out from Stephano. Stephano appears to be all in here. He's on 30 drones, but he's not making any more, just adding on more roaches, but he's retreating from the main base. Oh, to go straight, or retreating from the natural to go straight up into the main. Lambo's got nothing on the ground, though, Steadfast. He's desperately trying to get those links out. Drones have been pulled. It looks like Stephano is going to have a real tough time, but the surface area for Lambo is not great. Stephano using his Nidus Worm in the main as sort of a blocker for the front lines. That Nidus in the main going to go down, but the pressure on the natural is going to keep rotating. Oh my god, he could snipe +1, couldn't he? Come on, snipe +1, buddy.
That is actually a huge pick. If he does, he should not let that finish. Lane speed will finish up. +1 melee is about 10 seconds away from finishing. This Lambo being very methodical with how he's repositioning this spine crawler. +1. Oh, he's actually going to use this Evo chamber. Very nice usage of this. But now +1 melee will finish up. And that's going to help so much against these roaches. This is a very well-placed Nidus Worm from Stephano, but I think Lambo has enough to clean this up. How many roaches are going to pop out of the Nidus? It's only going to be like 3 or 4, and they get immediately surrounded, even with that Nidus Worm acting as a body blocker. I think Lambo is going to take game number 2, or at the very least, shut this push down.
Wow, man, I thought Lambo his goose was cooked there. Remember at the beginning of this fight, guys, Lambo had, I think, 10 or 14 lings on the map total, and Stephano had like twice as many roaches as that. What a heroic defense from Lambo there. His rotations were solid. He pulled the drones at the last second when he needed to, and even though his surface area wasn't great, he still did a really nice job pushing Stephano back. Stephano now sitting on 30 workers, Lambo even on workers, but he's going for that Spire tech. Did Stephano do any damage at all there, or enough damage, or somehow disrupt Lambo's plan, Steadfast? Or was that just pretty much a complete fail from Stephano?
Not a complete fail. It did, force some spines, but those spines were very much justified for how much was lost. Like, look at the resources lost right now. It is double in favor of Lambo, and this is not a normal Muta game. Normally, when Muta games happen at the pro level, it's 3 base versus 3 base.
Right.
And, it's not that big of a deal to have Mutas out. They don't just win the game. But in this scenario, when you're only on 2 hatcheries, it is so difficult to deal with this as the non-Muta player. The Mutas just give so much map control and make securing that 3rd base so incredibly difficult.
Thank you for prefacing that entire statement with "at the pro level," because I feel like everybody in chat would have been like, well, hey man, I'm in Silver League and I go 2-base Muta all the time. Also, very important note here. Steadfast, can you go back to the Lambo's natural really quickly, please? I want you guys to notice that there is, in fact, a spray down in that natural with the cat with the sunglasses on it. And I'm really curious, who do you think sprayed that? Do you think Stephano sprayed that when he was, like, putting on the pressure and thought he might win? Or do you think Lambo sprayed it once he held off the Nidus Worm?
I think probably... Oh, you know what? I could see both of them having sprayed it, to be honest. Oh, this Ling is so close to seeing this, but not quite going to be seeing this Nidus network. It is 6 queens, but I think the Muta count with those +1 melee lings is already probably going to be too much to deal with.
Yeah, the army supplies.
I don't know.
The army supplies here are even. If we look at the units tab, we can see it's 18 roaches and 6 queens versus 8 mutas. Now, I love that Stephano's dropping a couple Nidus Worms here. I think that one in the main base was just to try and drive him back a little bit and maybe keep Lambo back home. He does have the opportunity to drop another one in the main, so he can maybe rotate and confuse Lambo a little bit, but really this is just a ticking time bomb of a game, right? As long as Lambo keeps these mutas in the air and the queens don't snipe him down, he should be able to get this, right?
Well, this is a good play from Stephano going for this, but the Lings are going to get on top of the Queens, and this is just going to be a huge shutdown. These spores are never going to finish, and Lambo will be able to shut this down despite the +1 melee, or sorry, +1 missile on these roaches. Now, there is going to be a bit of time where these roaches can get some damage done, but there's spines and queens behind this.
Yeah, I think Lambo has a much more sustainable economy here. I love that Stephano's trying to keep this pressure on and trying to fold from one big all-in to another. Again, as we saw in game number 1, it really seems like Stephano has prepared these builds pretty well up against a player like Lambo, but now he's got nowhere to run, he's got nowhere to hide, and unfortunately, there are only 2 queens here for Stephano. So the corrosive biles are going to be nice, but these mutas can really pick their battles. I love the spores from Stephano finishing up, but I don't think it's going to be enough here.
Yeah, no, the fact that there's these spines behind, I do like the addition of these Ravagers to try and take down the spines, but time is very much on Lambo's side right now. He should pull this one spine crawler back. You don't want to lose it for free.
I don't know why Time would be on Lambo's side. Time's competing in the Chinese qualifier, Steadfast. I think they may be confused.
Well, you know, he's got such great CBT. It's because he's got Time as a practice partner, you know?
It's one of those stupid caster jokes that you have to make when a player like Sort of or Time plays a game, and you're just like, oh, why is your name a real word? Come on, man. Big engagement here, though. I love this from Lambo, jumping on top of the spores. They're able to get down, but only a few of the shots will go off before the spores are destroyed by those mutals. The mutals now getting on top of the queens. 4 queens out for Stephano. He's trying to reinforce. He is keeping the pressure on, but look at the muta count now. 17 mutas for Lambo, and he's even got enough to break off a small battalion and put him over onto the main base of Stephano. Lambo now cleaning up Stephano at his own main and putting some pressure on the main base of Stephano.
Yeah, the only thing that's a little bit weird about this is now the muta count is not all that high at the natural, and the spores will be able to re-burrow. 3 spores can actually do quite a bit against mutas. Lambo, he's kind of into this weird scenario where he's being split up. I still think he's in a really, really good spot, but I think this is one of the best ways for Stephano to have a chance here. Now, once these mutas get back home, he should be able to prevent the spores from leapfrogging easily anymore.
Oh my god. He's going to get the natural, though. The natural of Lambo's... Stephano, what are you... Stephano made this... I don't know if it's a mistake, but it's so strange to get that natural down to 10% health and then leave it. It's the same thing he did the Evo Chamber earlier. Is he just counting on the fact that he can snipe it on the backside when he escapes? This is such a weird choice from Stephano.
He was counting on being able to escape, that is for sure, and Lambo actually catches about 5 or 6 roaches right there and picks them off very cost efficiently. And yeah, that was a little bit of overzealousness right there, trying to speed up the slow push, as it were. Mutas will find a queen right there.
Speed up the slow push. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's so... It's such a weird game when 6 roaches are the difference between a win and a loss, right? Who cares that Stephano loses 6 roaches in any other game, but since he's so all in here, it's actually going to make a big difference here. He's even grabbing the larva here for Lambo. My god. So, does it look like Stephano has a clear path to victory here? Because it seems to me like he really does.
I don't think so. So the weird part of this is, oh man, these roaches are actually a big problem. And if this Spire goes down, well, actually, God, this is just such a weird game. Okay, so Lambo is going to go for a full counterattack here. Now, this is not ideal. The Spore can get transfused up here. That was pretty costly from Lambo. And Stephano, this is his time to now move up the ramp, and he is going to take that opportunity. Once that was really Lambo's big advantage, is that he could keep Stephano from getting up there for seemingly forever. But now, Stephano, as you said, it does feel like he has a clear path to victory.
Steadfast, in how many games as a Zerg player have you actively thought to yourself, I'm going to spread creep in my opponent's natural, that's a good play?
I mean, the number of times where it is a good play is very, very low. Oh, these spores are going to eviscerate the mutas. And, well, that was pretty much all of Lambo's bank right there. And Lambo is going to